Hi friends, it's Megan. Welcome to my February wrap-up / March TBR. I am majorly disappointed in myself. I only managed to read 3 books this month. University is really kicking my butt right now with readings and drawings and just various assignments and Simply put, I am hoping that March will be better. The first 2 books I don't have with me because they are library books, and the first one is The Reptile Room by Lemony Snicket. This is the second book in the series of unfortunate events by him, and I've been buddy reading this with Matt, and we're really enjoying it. The second book was just as good. Like I might have mentioned last month, I haven't read the series in such a long time, and it's really great to be rereading them. In this episode, the Baudelaire orphans go to live with their Uncle Monty, and a bunch of things happen. The next book I read that month was Strange Library by Haruki Murakami. This is the first time that I have read anything by him before, and I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed it. I loved how mysterious it was. It was really short too, but it had these accompanying pictures every page, 2 pages, and it was just so good. I really want to read more stuff by him. Basically, this young boy ends up going to a library and asks for something really obscure from the old man who oversees there, and he gets trapped there. The old man takes him prisoner and says, "You have to memorize these books or I'm going to kill you." And he fortunately finds a couple of people that are going to help him try to escape. Anyway, I just found it really, really good. And the last book that I managed to read this month was The Bookshop book by Jen Campbell. I have been mentioning this book quite a bit lately in TBRs and book hauls. This book was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I loved everything that she decided to do. The fact that she talks about like over 300, I think, bookshops. And along the way, she just inserts some random bookish facts that we as readers would be interested to know. And I was just going, oh, and I learned so much from this. About 10 pages in, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to keep track of all these. Like, if only there was like an index in the back of all the bookshops and where they were. So I flipped to the back, and there were. So from here on out, every time I travel anywhere, I'm going to consult the index in the back of this book to look at what bookshops are nearby that are mentioned. And this is so awesome. It's a travel guide for bookshops. I really loved it, and I recommend anybody who loves books and loves bookshops to pick this one up. So those are the 3 books that I've read, but I do have 3 books here that I am currently reading, and the first one is George Orwell's 1984. This was my TBR Classics pick for February, and I'm about halfway through it, and I'm really enjoying this so far. I read Animal Farm last year and liked it. That was a novella. This is an actual novel, and it's probably his best known work. It's about a man named Winston who lives in this dystopic era of 1984. It was written back in the 1940s, so I can see why the whole in the future. Anyway, it's totalitarian. One man runs it, Big Brother, and so this guy has these original thoughts, and that's not allowed. And anyway, so I think there's going to be a rebellion. That is my guess. The next book that I'm currently reading, which I'm only about 4 chapters in, is Monica Dickens' My Fair Lady. This is a novelized version of the Broadway play / film, so it's not an original work, and I didn't really realize that until after I bought it, but I still wanted to get through it. And the last book that I'm currently reading is Watercolor Fairy Art by Sam Burrier. This is my most recent tutorial book that I have picked up, and I couldn't wait to read it, and so I've been bringing it to school and reading it at lunchtime. So I'm partway through it, not quite halfway, and I am just loving it. I am finding it so incredibly informative. Like previous books that I own, they just talk about what colors to put and where with a few demonstrations of different hairstyles and stuff. This lady delves all the way into anatomy and using references and building inspiration boards, stuff that I never would have thought of doing. This is all on top of step-by-step tutorials for certain projects. I like to read my tutorial books all the way through before I start on the project, so I'm glad that I'm partway through this and really enjoying it. Okay, that's it for that portion. So you can assume that those 3 books I just mentioned are on my TBR to complete first this month, but after that I have 3 books that I'm hoping to get through. The next one is my March TBR classic pick, and it is Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I have seen this book everywhere, I have heard about it everywhere, but I have never read it in my 23 years. And I believe it's about a teenage boy, and I don't really know much else beyond it, except that it is a classic, and I have a couple of other books already by Salinger, and so I would like to find out once and for all if I do like him, and if I'm going to enjoy the other 2 books that I have. The next book I plan to get through is The Miserable Mill by Lemony Snicket. So this is the 3rd book in the series, keeping right along track. Well, probably because they're so like thin and like quick to get through. You get through them in a couple days, really. But in this one, I don't remember what the Baudelaire orphans go through. I think they go to work at a mill of some sort, but I don't remember, and that's a good thing because I like not knowing. Like when I'm rereading something that I know that I've loved in the past, but I forget why. I love that. And the last book that I hope to get through, and this is my random TBR jar pick, it is Boy, Tales of Childhood by Roald Dahl. This is Dahl's sort of autobiography of him as a child, and I've read a lot of Roald Dahl, and I absolutely love his stuff. 2 of my favorite books in the world, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Matilda, are written by him. So I'm excited to get through this. There you have it. That is my February wrap-up and March TBR. Let me know in the comments below if you have read any of these books. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I shall see you soon with another video. Bye, everyone.